All right, one of the questions I get asked a lot is how I make pulled pork. So I thought I'd make a quick video and show you exactly how I do it. So it's about 3 o'clock here right now in St. Louis, and I've got some errands to run this evening. But my plan is to get the smoker set up today and get the Boston butt on probably somewhere around midnight, and we'll let it go all night long and get up in the morning and see where we're at. So let's do it. Alright, so tonight we're going to use the Humphreys Battle Box. I've had it for, I guess, 3 years now, maybe. I absolutely love it. It will maintain temperature just as long as it has fuel. I've ran it for about 16 hours with char logs, and I don't have char logs today, so probably just use a mixture of briquettes and lump charcoal. And I'm not going to make a video of that. It's pretty straightforward. I'll probably go with hickory to smoke the pork with. Usually do. So anyway, the way this smoker works is over here is the air intake for the firebox. It's just a ball valve. I do have an adapter on it to run a temperature controller, and I am going to use the temperature controller tonight because I like to sleep. So I can run this all night with the controller. It'll maintain whatever temperature I dial in, and we can just check on it in the morning. So in the bottom door here is the firebox, and this is where all the charcoal and wood and whatever you want to use goes. There's a ash pan down here below, catch all the ash, and then there's a heat deflector plate. So as your firebox starts to build smoke, the smoke hits the plate, it's forced out to the sides. And in the cooking chamber there's a false wall, so smoke will build up here, come out through the top, and then out through these holes in the back. There's a water pan to keep everything humid. It holds about 2.5 or 3 gallons of water. I usually put about 2.5 gallons in for anything around 12 hours of cooking. I also have a stone that will go over that, so I don't have to use the water pan if I don't want to. And I usually will use the stone when it's something like poultry, where I want the skin to be a little crisper, not as rubbery. And then at the top here is the exhaust stack, just on a slide. So we'll get this ready to go, and I'll show you how I light it. I've seen a lot of different opinions and ways that people light these things. I'll show you what I do. It's probably not the way everybody does it, but that's what works for me. So alright, we'll head back in and start getting our pork butt ready. Alright, so we have a, what is this, 8.5 pound pork butt. Just bought it at Sam's. It's nothing special. I've got some butcher paper down and some paper towels just to catch all the juices. One of the things I wanted to mention when I was out with the smoker there, you don't have to have a fancy smoker or something expensive to make good pulled pork. I've made it on everything from, Weber kettles to, I've got a pit barrel also that I use. You can make it on just about anything that'll maintain and keep a steady temperature. It's not difficult to do. Alright. Alright, so what I like to do is just get it out of here and dry it off, pat it down. And then we'll put a little bit of mustard on it as a binder and season it up. So just get this patted down a little bit. I know some people like to trim some of the fat off. I don't do that ever on a pork butt. I will on a brisket, but this is going to cook so long, the fat's going to render anyway, so I usually just leave it. So just a little bit of mustard on the top. And today I'm using this butt rub. I found this when I lived down in Florida, and been using it for a long time since. It's one of my favorites. I have used a bunch of other things. My second favorite is probably some of the meat church stuff, but this probably is my favorite. And I just like to get everything coated. It's a giant piece of meat, so you're not going to over season it. But I do want a good crust, so I'll stop the video here for a few minutes and get this done because my hands are about to get super messy, and pick it back up here in a minute. Alright, I got all the butt rub on. Should give us a nice bark when it's done smoking. I've used this stuff, I couldn't even tell you how many times, hundreds of pounds of pulled pork I've used this stuff on. It always turns out fantastic. So like I mentioned earlier, I've got some things to do, and when I get home we'll go out and get the smoker lit and get the controller set up, and we'll get the butt on hopefully by, I don't know, midnight, 1 a.m., somewhere around there. Alright, so it's about 11:15, 11:20, something like that at night. Just got home here a little bit ago. And like I said earlier, I've seen a bunch of ways people lighting these with charcoal basket, half full, and dump it in, and torches and all kinds of stuff. This is the easiest way that I found. These little paraffin wax things. I just like this. And let it go. It's gonna start obviously in the front left corner, and I've had pretty good luck. It just catches and burns, you know, left to right, up front to back. So it's been pretty good for me anyway. So it'll take I don't know, probably about an hour to get this up to temperature. I did add all the water in my water pan, and I got my probe in for the temperature controller. Usually once I get this up to about, I don't know, 150, 175, something like that, I'll hook up my temperature controller and let it take it the rest of the way up to 225. So what I'm going to do, just kind of relax for a little while, let it get up to temp, and get the butt on, and I'll probably let it go for, I don't know, 6.5 hours, and then get up and check it out and see where we're at. So I don't think I'll probably make a video of me just throwing the butt on here. It's about 9:30 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off, put it in the pan, and I'll show you what the next steps are after that. But it's looking good. Ran the smoker at 225 all night. Got up this morning, sitting right at 225. So get this pulled off and show you what we do next. For the next step, I'm going to add this Meat Church Holy Voodoo to the pan. I just add it to the top. Throw it on the bottom here. A little more. And then I'm going to add butter. I'm just going to add it to the pan. Add some up here. Okay.
Motion detected at the front.
Alright, so why I'm doing this is because I want to create some juice to put over the pork after we pull it. So this butter obviously is all going to melt. It should mix with some of the pork fat rendering. There's still some fat that needs to render out of the butt. It'll mix with the meat church seasoning that we just added. And then after we pull the pork and shred it, we'll take the pan drippings and pour it back over the pulled pork. And that really is a key to keeping everything nice and moist. So I'm going to cover this up with foil, throw it back on the smoker. Right now the butt is about 175, 180 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we're going to throw it back on and take it up to about 200 to 205. I pulled the pork off the smoker probably around 1 o'clock. And I let it rest for just a little while. So I guess it went 12 hours on the smoker, probably an hour rest. And then I went ahead and pulled it. I always use my hands when I shred the pork. I've seen a lot of people use forks and other gadgets. But I wanted to show you, this is why I use my hands. This is all the stuff that I don't want in a sandwich. It's mostly fat and hard pieces of cartilage. So all that's out. This is what I was left with, and this is the pan drippings that are left. So what I like to do is just do this. And let it soak through the pork there, and it's definitely going to keep everything nice and moist. It's nothing's going to be dried out. So that's what I recommend doing. I started doing it this way probably, I don't know, a year ago, and I'll just continue to do it at phenomenal results. So I guess that about wraps it up. I'm going to have some lunch and take a nap. And if you stuck through this far, thank you. And I had a good time making videos, so I'll probably make some more in the future. Thanks again.